You have goals and dreams and aspirations. You have wishes and wants, and you have things that you want to do. But how hard are you willing to work in order to get those things? What sacrifices are you prepared to make in order to have something different than what it is you have right now? Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we're here for another poetry discussion, which will appear in two different playlists here on the channel. Number one being the poetry discussion playlist, and number two being the Dark Academia playlist, a playlist dedicated to the aesthetic and the ascetic of Dark Academia. The poem in question today is known as Bright Star by John Keats, and it reads as such. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hung aloft the night, and watching with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite. The moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round the earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft-fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No, yet still steadfast, still interchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel for ever its soft fall and swell, awake for ever in a sweet unrest, still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or else swoon to death. Here, in this poem, what we have from the speaker is this praise of the bright star. How praiseworthy is the bright star? Well, he goes on about it for quite some time, does he not? And the speaker says, look, I wish I could be like you. That is what I want to do. I want to be just like you, important like you, bright like you. I want to shine the way that you shine. But I don't want to really put in the work. I don't really want to have to make the sacrifices. I enjoy the evenings with my lover. I want to be pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell, awake forever in a sweet unrest. Well, speaker, turns out maybe that's the one sacrifice you have to make. I present this poem in the playlist for Dark Academia because I think that what Dark Academia is the willingness to make that sacrifice. It is, in my opinion, an isolation that is agreed upon between the self and the ego. And the ego may or may not know that that is where the ego has to end, right? So I talk also about the symbolic death of Dark Academia. Death and sacrifice, I think, in this way, for a cause like Dark Academia, are the same thing, really. It is a saying goodbye to the you that you have been in order to become the you that you might be. That is what our speaker here is unwilling to do. Unwilling to say, okay, I will make the sacrifice of all of those creature comforts that I enjoy. I will become one without, that I might build something anew. Our speaker, being unwilling to do that, do you think, at the end of this poem, our speaker does transcend what it is that he is? Do you think at the conclusion of this poem, our speaker does become as praiseworthy as the bright star? And look, it doesn't have to be a lover, right? I think that there are all sorts of creature comforts that might be sacrificed in order that the individual transcends who it is that he or she is. There is, I think, inside dark academia, a very real type of stoicism, but stoicism really teaches you to live in the moment. Don't fear the future. Don't regret the past. Be here now. That's kind of one of the tenets of Stoicism. I think that dark academia offers something a bit different in that it is an ascetic value, that it says, hey, the right now is kind of sacrificable. The future's where it's at, baby. Are you guaranteed that future? No, not at all. But if you don't work in the now to get to the future will be just the same as the now is. Is that what you want? Still, so in that way, it is not dark academia, a type of stoicism. But there is an asceticism that is alive in stoicism that I think is alive in dark academia as well. This acceptance of the fact that, hey, you don't get everything you want. If you got everything you wanted, why would you stow yourself away and try to become something more? That wouldn't make sense. You would just be sacrificing for the sake of sacrificing, which is something that is a stoic virtue. If you don't have to eat tonight, if you don't eat tonight, what's the worst that's going to happen to you? You have to fall asleep hungry? Is that really so bad? Do you really need the most comfortable couch that you can find? That would just increase the odds that you're going to sit there and not do something more profitable for you. Don't mean profitable in a monetary sense, but profitable in a spiritual sense, perhaps. Dark academia, putting this premium on the future over the now, is at odds with Stoicism, but it's also at odds with the type of sensuality that the speaker in this poem desires. The speaker in the poem, in that way, I think, represents want, like a personification of want. The speaker in the poem sees the bright star, likes the bright star, wants to be the bright star. But the speaker has his lover, sees his lover, and wants his lover. If all of a sudden there were a tray of Snickers bars wheeled into the room, what are the odds the next poem would be about candy, right? I think that there is a bit of this that is alive, this want that is alive in dark academia, but I don't think it is as unbridled as our speaker presents it. If there were not something that you wanted, why would you sacrifice? If there were not some type of person you wanted to become, why would you sacrifice? If you did not hold Harold Bloom or Christopher Hitchens or Ernest Hemingway or Emily Dickinson, some of these names, in that light, why would you dedicate your time to reading poetry? Why would you dedicate your time to the written word? The difference that makes this that transforms this from vice to virtue is the willingness to put in the work and the willingness to sacrifice. In the speaker here, it is a vice, because everything our speaker sees, our speaker wants, and our speaker wants that and wants that right now. But to be a dark academic, you have to understand that that premium is on the future. So maybe we have to sacrifice the now. That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. Literature is the only thing I do on this channel. There are multiple videos every week, including poetry on Monday. And right now, there are 2 playlists and a video on the screen that YouTube thinks you will enjoy. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.